Hi everyone, it's Mr. Reed, the #1 teacher of CC Foundations. Hey, thanks for the Valentine, Anna. And also, we celebrated Valentine's Day today, and I've also got a couple other Valentines from the boys in my class, so thank you so much. Like the Star Wars theme, that's awesome. And we're here to talk about week 17 now already, so let's go ahead and get started. And we'll start off with math. So with math, in our new grammar, we are talking about the area of a square, and we use some hand motions for that. So first off, the area of a square equals length of its side squared. And the actions that we did with that are the following. The area of a square equals length of its side squared. Alright, so again, those hand motions were square, length, and squared. So that's what we did for math. Alright, next we talked about second declension noun endings for Latin. And so this is a repeat from previous weeks earlier from last year. And what we're doing with that is just going through the CC song. So we went through that, singing it. I'll go ahead and sing it real quick. And that again is us e o o, us e o o, us e o o, singular second declension. And next is our plural. E orm is os is. E orm is os is, e orm is os is, plural second declension. Alright, that's our Latin. And next, we're going to talk about science. So in science, we learned about some parts of a volcano. And some parts of a volcano are the following: magma, vents, lava, crater, and gases. And with science today, we actually did some hand motions with learning about the parts of a volcano, and I think these were a lot of fun to learn with the class today. So I'll go ahead and go through those. So what are some parts of a volcano? Magma, vents, lava, crater, and gases. Alright, so again, that was magma, vents, lava, crater, and gases. Alright, that's our science, hand motion. Next is English. With English, we are continuing our series with helping verbs, which were may, must, and might. And in class today, we just did jumping jacks. We actually did 10 jumping jacks in a row. And some of us were pretty winded after that. And the kids had a lot of fun in getting some exercise learning about our helping verbs today with English. So that's what we did there. Timeline. So timeline, we have been using the voice cube for a few weeks, but I introduced some hand motions for our timeline for this week, and I'll go ahead and go through those with you. So first is Napoleon crowned Emperor of France. So with that, we put our hands up like this to represent a crown. Next is liberation of South America, and for that, hopefully we'll catch this on the video, but I have my arms spread out wide like this. We're liberated. So that was our hand motion for liberation of South America. Next is the War of 1812. So with that hand motion, we put our hands like this, and we kind of go back and forth like this to represent war. Next is the Missouri Compromise. We had a lot of fun with this one, where the kids would partner up, or I would reach out my hand to one of the kids and would shake their hand as a compromise. So that's what we did for the Missouri Compromise. Next is immigrants flock to America. So this we had some fun too. When we looked at the word flock, we think of birds, ran around a little bit and kind of flapped our arms like this to represent flocks of birds. Next is the Monroe Doctrine, and for that foreign policy, we just went ahead and lifted our hand out like this and pretended that we were signing a piece of paper of this foreign policy. And last but not least, this was a fun one, was the Romantic period of the arts, where we put our hands up on our cheek like this, and we would say the Romantic period of the arts. So, acting like we're feeling romantic. Very fitting, right? With Valentine's Day coming up in a couple days. Alright, so let's go through that real quick. With the timeline with the motions, so you've got it. So Napoleon crowned Emperor of France, liberation of South America, War of 1812, the Missouri Compromise, immigrants flock to America, the Monroe Doctrine, and the Romantic period of the arts. Alright, so that's timeline. Okay, next is history. And with history, we're learning about the Aztecs. And with learning about the Aztecs, we went ahead and also did some hand motions that went along with the CC song. Here's how it went. The Aztecs, we went like this for Aztecs, and this was actually a repeat when we learned about the different civilizations of Mesoamerica, where we went like this for our Aztecs. We did the same hand motion with that. Used pyramids. So with pyramids, we put our hands out like this, with the palm of our hands facing each other, and actually it's kind of down by my side, so I wanted to make sure you saw it with the video screen here, but I'm going to go ahead and raise my arms up like this, up to my head. So that was our hand motion for pyramids. So continuing on, in rituals of human sacrifice. So we did a hand motion for sacrifice, and I kind of had some creativity with this, I would say, that tried to, not kind of think about what human sacrifices are, but thinking about sacrifice in the terms of playing baseball or softball. Think of a sacrifice bunt. So in class today, we went ahead and did the motion of holding a bat, and like we were doing a sacrifice bunt. For some kids, they don't play baseball, they may not be familiar with that term, but you might have an opportunity to kind of talk a little bit more about that sport if you like. So this is what we did. Act like we're bunting a baseball for sacrifice. Alright, so continuing on, their civilization began to fall. So with the word fall, we did a hand motion where we had our arms out like this, and then we just had them just kind of drop suddenly. And it seemed like the kids had a lot of fun with that particular hand motion. Okay, and then continuing on, when Hernan Cortez of Spain defeated. So with defeated, we just kind of took our fists like this, like we're knocking somebody out, like we're defeated them. Montezuma the second. So when we say the second, we put out two fingers like that for Montezuma the second in 1519. Alright, so those were the hand motions. Let's go ahead and go through all of that at one time so you see it. Alright, so the Aztecs used pyramids in rituals of human sacrifice. Their civilization began to fall when Hernan Cortez of Spain defeated Montezuma II in 1519. Alright, so that is history. For geography, we learned about the African countries, and that was Ethiopia, Mozambique, Zimbabwe, South Africa, and Madagascar. So, got out our maps, and as usual, the kids are knocking it out of the park, learning all of the different countries and geography very well. So they did a great job with that. All right, that's all I've got for new grammar. And I just want to give a shout out again to Lucy. Lucy, so sorry you're still not feeling well and you got a fever, and praying for you that you're going to get well again, and I really hope that next week I'm going to be able to see you again. So hang in there, Lucy. We miss you, and we hope that you'll be back next week. All right, have a good week with your new grammar, and I'll see you next week in class.